I always feel rather guilty recommending gardening jobs in summer because this is the time of year when you should be sitting outdoors in the sunshine admiring the fruits of your labours, but a little gentle pottering is very pleasurable, and it doesn't come more gentle or more pottery than deadheading roses. When they've finished their first flush of flower, you don't want to leave them with all these dead blooms on, unless of course it's a particular rose species or variety which has good hips. These fleshy fruits behind the flower which in autumn can turn bright orange and red. Now there aren't many species that we do grow for hips, but the rugosa varieties for instance are best not deadheaded because then you can enjoy the hips as well as the flowers. But with any others like these, there are several stages in deadheading which make the flowers look better, which also conserve the plant's energy, stop it from producing seed, and perhaps divert those energies into another flush of flower later in the summer. The stages are like this. You see, you'll get a tiny single faded flower there, and with your secateurs, snip that off and just pull it out. There's another one gone there, and you're leaving the rest. You don't want to remove all those until they've all absolutely faded. And by just snipping these single ones off, you're prolonging the life of that truss of flower, and these youngsters like this coming, which look so fresh and beautiful, but which you can't really keep your eyes on them because you're distracted by these other ones here which have almost entirely gone over. And this is the next stage of deadheading. Now all this cluster has gone. The easiest thing to do would be just to snip it back down to there. If you do that, quite a spindly shoot will come from that leaf axil. Go further back where the stem is slightly thicker, cutting just above a leaf, and make your snip there. And that piece of stem there, with recurrent repeat flowering roses, will produce a thicker shoot of its own, which will in turn carry more flowers and a larger truss of flowers later in the summer because you cut back into a thicker stem. If you cut it higher up to a more spindly stem, you'll get a more spindly and thinner flower cluster developing. And then, when you've done all that and been right over the bush, which is great fun, you will also find that you notice things about your plants. You will notice, for instance, that there's a little caterpillar nibbling at the leaf there. But you don't have to get your sprayer out. Just use this observation time to cut that off and throw it on the path where the blackbird can have it. It gets you up close and personal to your roses, and when you've been over them and taken off all these deadheads, they'll look good for longer, right way through the summer.